Daddy sat in his recliner watching baseball as I pirouetted across the rug, leaving a sprinkle of sequins in my wake and briefly blocking his view. "Can't you do that somewhere else?" he grumbled, and I scampered away, seen but unseen. My father was all about work, up before I rose in the morning and home just in time for dinner, after which he would retreat to his recliner with a beer and turn the television on to sports or his favorite shows, the Rockford Files or the $6 Million Man. When Dad was in his recliner, we knew he was not to be disturbed. Even if he was asleep and we'd sneak over to the television set to turn the dial to Little House on the Prairie, Dad would awake declaring, "I was just resting my eyes." And we'd be forced to turn back to his show, even though his eyes would be closed and he'd be snoring again within 5 minutes. But Tuesday, that was our night. Because on Tuesdays, Daddy had his West Raleigh Exchange Club meetings, and Mom would relax, even sometimes letting us eat TV dinners or SpaghettiOs from the can. And we could watch Happy Days or Laverne and Shirley with no interruption. Daddy's Exchange Club gave scholarships and created halls of American history at all the local schools. But their main project was running the Little League baseball program in which all of the boys in my neighborhood played. I'd been watching them throw balls with their dads in the street for years. I saw my father smiling at my brother as he tossed up pop flies and they landed square in his mitt, and my brother grinning back. I wanted my dad to look at me that way. So I announced my intention at dinner one night when I was 10. Casual, like asking someone to please pass the butter. I said, "So, I think I'd like to play baseball this summer." And I scooped up a spoonful of peas. "Girls don't play baseball," said my brother with his mouth full of mashed potatoes. "Well, of course they can," said my mother, "and don't talk with food in your mouth." "Well, just because they can doesn't mean they should, and really they can't," said my brother. "Girls play sports. Chris Everett is one of the best athletes in the world," said my mother. "Well, I bet she can't hit a baseball," retorted my brother. My father hadn't said a thing. I looked at him, hopeful, but he was focused on his plate. "Girls can't run as fast as boys. It's a proven fact," my brother smirked, taking my father's silence as solidarity. "And those pitches are fast. Girls would cry if they got hit." "You'd cry too if you got hit. I've seen you cry, you sissy." Mom glared in that universal mom look that someone's about to get sent to their room without dessert. "Bill, don't you think Suzanne could join the team this year?" "Well, I guess I could ask," Dad responded, and my brother shot daggers my way with his eyes, and I melted them with my smile before they got anywhere near my force field. And so, I became the first girl in the West Raleigh baseball program. But there was a problem. My brother was right. I couldn't play. In practice, I rarely caught a ball. When I threw them back, they always landed yards in front of my target. Our minor league team was the Mitchell's Hairstyling Dodgers. And our sponsors paid for 12 sets of navy blue polyester shirts with blue pinstripe pants. Problem was, we had 14 players. When the coach passed out the uniforms, he handed me and a new kid, who was only 8, the plain white cotton and wool blend jerseys from the 60s. I was devastated as I watched all the boys putting on their crisp new sponsor shirts. I was one of the oldest players on the team, and I was new, and I was a girl. I already stood out, and now I had to wear that stupid uniform. I sobbed all the way home. But a couple days later, my dad showed up before practice with pants that matched my brother's and a jersey that was similar to the rest of the team's with my name screened onto the back. It was one of the nicest things anyone had ever done for me. He was my hero. When the season began, I tucked my hair up into my hat and took my position in right field. But it was rare that anything was ever hit out there. I was bored. So I made clover necklaces and encircled my Dodgers cap with a crown of dandelions. True to my brother's prediction, I couldn't hit any better than I could throw. Every time I got up to bat, the coach would say, "Let it hit you," so I could get on base before I struck out. And I did let it hit me, and it hurt, but I didn't cry. Mostly, though, I spent my time sitting on the bench, trying to catch the eye of a cute boy from 5th grade and chewing green apple bubble gum while breathing in the scent of hot dogs from the snack bar, where my dad sold Babe Ruth chocolate bars for 15 cents and 3 bazooka bubble gums for a nickel. Every night, I dreamt of hitting a home run over the Tasty Freeze sign just below the scoreboard in center field, partly to gain credibility for my sex, partly to see the look on my brother's face, and partly to make my father proud. But mostly for the free sundae the sign promised the person who hit that ball over the blue and white plywood placard. Home run, Suzanne Lowe! In my dreams, I could hear the announcer calling my name from the booth and the roar of the crowd in their lawn chairs. That was not meant to be. I did, however, hit one ball that in a series of bad news Bears fielding errors landed me on second base. Our side retired before I could score, but it felt so good to see the view from an infield bag with my hands buzzing from the bat connecting with the ball. "That was a great hit," my dad said after the game, and I beamed at the recognition. Sadly, though it had not been my goal, I was not a good example for the growing women's lib movement, as my participation drew ire from at least one concerned citizen who wrote to the Raleigh Times demanding that girls not be allowed on boys' teams. But the 1974 National Organization of Women lawsuit had forced National Little League to revise their rules and allow girls into the sport. Maybe I cracked the dugout ceiling, so the girls that came out after me, the ones who were playing with true passion for the sport, could earn that Tasty Freeze sundae and so much more. Well, my non-heroic basketball, that was no good either. My non-heroic baseball career ended that season, and my crowning achievement was the ring of clover around my cap. My father clearly appreciated my chutzpah, and for me, that was a home run.